The pen, my hand can't go as fast as my thoughts can. If I'm thinking on a laptop or I'm thinking on my phone and writing in my notes, I can tap a lot faster than I can use a pen writing it down with a piece of paper. This is why piece of paper and pens are crucial still to your future success. Journaling, my meditative practice. My name is Joseph Darling. This is the Men of High Value channel. Let's talk about journaling for a second. A lot of people out there are talking about meditation, breath work, and doing those things. Now, although they definitely have their place, I just never really got into the meditative aspect. Sorry, I've never really tapped into it. I don't know if I ever will. Maybe I will have to at some point, but let me share with you one of my meditative practices, which is journaling. Literally, taking a notebook of any kind, it doesn't matter what it is, take a notebook, okay? Small notebook, great, all right? You take a pen, and this is how this meditative practice works. You literally you don't write down things that have happened to you today, and then you put it nicely, over there on, next to your bedside, and then one day in the future, your grandkids are going to look at,
oh, today I brushed my teeth, and today I did this, and today I did that.
That's not interesting. What's interesting is your emotions, your thoughts, how you were thinking, how you went about solving problems, how you handled yourself, how you were grateful or ungrateful or struggled with something, whatever it is. That's the interesting things for them to read in the future. Now, you could also make a YouTube channel to document your life journey. They will probably more appreciate that than reading books, to be honest, because, hey, I don't know, what we have in the future is basically just, watching YouTube, right? Will your grandkids want to read your stuff? Maybe not. But it's not for them necessarily. It's for you. This is for you to actually grow and become and be a better leader in general. It's almost as if you're writing a book. And what's interesting about it is that you learn the fastest when you teach others. Putting thoughts on paper, words on paper, is you teaching someone else. Even though it's just your book, like it's just your notebook and yourself, you're literally teaching when you put your thoughts down on paper. Did you know that? That's what Alex Hormozi did. He mentioned in one video recently where he said, I enjoy learning. I enjoy learning a lot, okay? The teaching aspect of things, I don't really enjoy that as much as I do learning. But I've discovered that I learn more when I teach. And so I need to teach more in order for me to enjoy the learning aspect of things. Does that make sense? So this is what he says, and I completely agree with him. When you put notes down on paper, you're literally now teaching yourself about a specific principle, about a specific truth, about a specific whatever. I've noticed one time I was really struggling with something and it was really weighing me down heavily, and that doesn't happen very often, okay? But that specific day, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is intense, but I have a skill, I have a tool, and I can tap into it as much as I want. I can just sit down and write it out, and guess what? It was in the morning, probably around 4:30, 5 o'clock, something like that. No one in the house had woken up yet, which is a perfect time to think, okay? Because the universe has now reserved its energy for your brain alone. Fantastic. I sat down, my notebook and pen, and you know what happened? I just wrote straight for 10 pages. I probably were writing for like half an hour, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. I don't know how long it took, but it solved the problem. I literally went from kind of, depressed, Joseph depressed, because I'm never really depressed, but Joseph type of depressed, okay? And then I changed my mind by looking at the scenario completely differently within that amount of time. At the end, I was actually quite fired up. I literally had gone from a 3-4 in levels of happiness, okay? Which, again, doesn't happen very often, but I turned it around and made it an 8. Okay, so I'm not perfect when it comes to attitude, but I've perfected the journey back towards a great attitude. Does that make sense? Instead of it taking me 10 months or 4 months or 2 weeks or whatever it is to get through something, to overcome my mental issues, so to speak. I've been able to hone in a practice, and this is not my only practice, by the way, but I've been able to develop and master a skill of developing my attitude in the right direction within a short few days maximum, right? Usually it will take me a few hours, maybe a few minutes to just, how should I look at this situation? How can I be happy about what's happening right now? That's the questions you kind of have to ask yourself, and then you'll eventually solve it. But in general, journaling has helped me to solve so many problems. It is insane. Also, during the nighttime, if I wake up for whatever reason and I get a thought, I solve a problem in my head, and then I can't go back to sleep, what I find sometimes I do, simply take a notebook and write down the things that you learned, right? The problem that you've solved. And then you can do it in the dark too. I've done that multiple times so that you don't properly wake up. And then you finish the page and then your brain is actually done. Like it's done problem solving, and now you can go back to bed like that. Journaling to solve problems. It is an amazing meditative practice, and I will explain to you why I think that is. Your thoughts are extremely fast. I've noticed that the people who have the most mental issues have the fastest thoughts. Interesting how that works. As men, we were designed to become masculine over time. We start out feminine, and femininity have very quick, racy thoughts. That can be a positive thing when you need to find a very quick solution, so it's good to tap into that at times. However, as masculine men, you want to move towards the point where it's kind of like the Matrix, where you can actually dodge bullets, right? It's more like you're capable of slowing down your thoughts. This is what they do with meditation anyway. And then basically things begin to clear up. If things are racy all over the place, it's likely that you'll have, issues finding the solution. It's kind of like a needle in the haystack. It's like vroom, vroom, vroom. But if you actually slow down your thought process, then things go slower. It's like, oh, here's a solution. Here's a solution. Here's a solution. Did you get what I'm saying? How does journaling do that? How does that solve the problem? It forces you to think slower because you got a pen and you got a paper. And when you're writing, it's like, I am standing here thinking about a solution to my problems. Do you get what I'm saying? Like the pen, my hand can't go as fast as my thoughts can. If I'm thinking on a laptop or I'm thinking on my phone and writing in my notes, I can tap a lot faster than I can use a pen writing it down with a piece of paper. This is why piece of paper and pens are crucial still to your future success. Hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are amazing. I'll see you in the next one.